everybody! Welcome to these live reactions to UFC 230 Cormier versus Lewis. I know this show started 40 minutes ago. I made it clear on Twitter earlier that I was going to be starting with the second fight, Robertson versus Marshman, again in the middleweight division. We have just started off. I tried to hold off as long as possible, as I'm sure you will remember. The very first time I did this, 229, I ended up running out of time in round 3 of the main event. I definitely did not want that to happen again. So I decided to skip the first fight. For those of you who are interested, Israel Asenada, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with pronunciations even after hearing it, defeated Derek Bronson by TKO in the dying seconds of round number 1. A very good stoppage from Herb Dean. Brunson had been put on his back about 3 times in 30 seconds. There was no way he was fit to continue. And I see all the stuttering jokes. Hey, at least I'm not Dogger. Anyway, I hope everyone is okay tonight. We have a stiff left jab from Robertson, who has had the had the slight edge so far. Nice leg kick there, few feint punches, and Marshman has rocked him out. Very quick recovery there. With 3 minutes left to go in round number 1. What's going on with the Wi-Fi? Please tell me I'm not cutting in and out. Hang on. Anyway, some quick shots to the head from Marshman. He's caught a leg. Oh, and Marshman is rocked, forced up against the cage. Huge knee. He manages to steady himself. I honestly thought he was probably going down then, but good job there to stay on your feet. Now we've got both of them feigning a few jabs, looking for an opening. Marshman is definitely the more active, pacing down Robertson. Robertson is trying to hold his ground, throwing some short jabs, trying to keep his range, but huge missed up. How's that? Is that any better, Scott? But anyway, we have 35 seconds left in round number 1 and a huge body kick from Robertson. Catches Marshman, but very little response shown. Marshman's still trying to feel out the jab, but is struggling to find anything. Robertson is clearly superior on the feet, as anyone who knew these two fighters beforehand knew, and is able to control the fight when on the feet. He did manage to rock Marshman halfway through that round. We have the end of round one. Round one is over. Sorry for any issues. This is still obviously only my second time doing this. So, any jitters or anything, I hope you understand. I'm not typically used to pulling the strings, if you know what I mean. I completely lost my train of thought there. And also, sorry if I'm not at my best tonight. As I said in the WNC chat, I'm feeling a tiny bit ill tonight, so... And we're off with round number 2. Marshman trying to find his range now. Throwing out the left hand. No strikes appear to have landed. And Bronson lands a couple of jabs. Candy! And Marshman is unloading on Robertson. The burst appeared to have very little effect, but sure looked good. I honestly don't see why Marshman is trying to continue to stand with Robertson. It's clear Robertson is superior on the feet. Marshman does have a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. As I'm aware, Robertson has very little experience on the ground. I don't see why Marshman isn't shooting for the takedown here. Instead, continuing to try and find a range for a fatal blow. Clearly, yeah, it's better than what Robertson has, Evan. As far as I'm aware, Robertson has absolutely no ground training. So, Marshman really now should be shooting for the takedown, as he is struggling again. He is cut open under his left eye. Good job for him, it's under the eye. But Robertson still looks unblemished. Manages to find a shot to the body. And he staves off an attack by Marshman with a slip. He slips the shot. Why are you trying to brawl? And we're now on the ground. Sorry, I'm still thinking about the last fight. Robertson has side control. Transitions to half guard. Marshman appears content to just hold him for the time being, not attempting to make much of an effort to transition. Just clinching on, holding on. Finally an effort to transition, but it appears to be blocked as we are still in side control. Robertson is landing some decent left hands from the top. Don't appear to be doing a huge amount of damage as we have 40 seconds left in round number 2. It looks to me as if a small cut may have opened up under the other eye for Marshman. He is, not too impressive right now, let's just say that. As we enter the final 15 seconds, Robertson is maintaining side control. He's blocked a couple of transitions while I've been speaking, still throwing a few solid left hands. But obviously, what can you do against a BJJ fighter from the top? You're not really going to get that much power in your shot. And round number 2 has come to an end. Sorry, I was just having a little bit of a drink there. So I hope everyone is doing well tonight. Now this is directed. Unfortunately, I haven't got around to watching Gerald's game yet. Instead, I decided a Ouija Origin of Evil, but we are about to start the third and final round of this fight. I may be seeing this totally different, and we're underway, but I may be seeing this totally different than anyone else, but I feel Marshman needs to try and stop this guy. I'm sorry, but the combinations he was unloading were being fairly well blocked. And in round number 2, Robertson did some decent work from the top as he connects with a stiff left hand straight to the not the first Ouija film, the second one starring Lulu Wilson. Now I've never watched the first one, but I've heard stories about the first one, and yeah, no. Marshman is coming forward, trying to throw some jabs, but decent footwork there from Robertson. Avoids all of them. Face kick does not land. Marshman blocked that face kick. And even the simple act of blocking that clearly shook him a little bit. And I think I see a tiny cut under his lip, under his bottom lip. Or is that more to the side? No, that's definitely under the lip. Few wild strikes thrown by both men, and Marshman's lost his gum shield. Yeah. Now, a great fight. Huge head kick forces Marshman back, nothing comes of it. But yeah, not the greatest fight I've ever seen. That's for sure. I can't see this winning no Fight of the Night awards. And Robertson takes Marshman down and returns to side control. Marshman has his feet up against the cage. Referee is in, checking, and we're continuing. Sorry if I'm quiet for extended spells of time. It's just, what can you really say when one guy's got another underground inside control and neither are even attempting transitions. Robertson landing a few decent elbows, but he appears as if he may be content to just hold Marshman down for the 90 seconds left of this fight. Landing some right hands from the top. Not powerful, mind you. I would expect no power in a shot from the top against a BJJ artist. They're fucking experts at holding you in. But Robertson has transitioned to the mount with 50 seconds left in the fight. No who. Land again throw. He's just basically sitting on top of him, trying to feel out a range for the final 30 seconds. It appears he believes he has won this fight. I too believe he has won this fight. But I'm not going to give my official score until the end of the fight in 10 seconds time. He's been holding him down really well on the ground towards the end of this round. Some decent shots landed by Marshman at the conclusion, but we have reached the end of the fight. I have scored it 30-27 in favour of Robertson. I feel that was I wouldn't say a piss easy night's work for him, but I certainly wouldn't complain at a night's work like that. Marshman clearly inferior. I honestly do not know why he didn't shoot for a takedown to get position himself to begin with. He could have done damage from the top, but hindsight is 20/20, and Robertson has almost certainly won this fight. I gave him all 3 rounds, but we're about to get the official decision from Bruce Buffer. Let's see. Oh, come on, Marshman's having a difficult time getting his fucking shirt on. Robertson wins by unanimous decision. The judges scored the fight 30-26, 30-26, 30-27 in his favour. So looks like my scorecard wasn't very far off. As I said, I scored it 30-27, giving all 3 rounds 10-9 to Robertson. But anyway, we're still at commercial break, and I only just about have enough songs prepared for tonight, so I can't play anything new. Next fight, as I said, is David Branch will be fighting Jared Cannona. I think that's how it's pronounced, but as I've said numerous times, I'm absolutely dreadful with pronunciations. We're currently seeing the card for UFC 231, which will be headlined by Max Holloway up against Brian Ortega for the UFC featherweight title. That will take place December 8th. I'm sure I will be here that night. No guarantees, obviously. You can never guarantee. Nothing in life is ever guaranteed, but let's say if I'm still breathing and if I'm well, I will be here December 8th. But I'm looking around, looking to see if I can find any streams of the Wilder Fury fight. As I said during UFC 229, I'm definitely more of a boxing person than an MMA guy. If I can find a decent card to watch, I will happily come on and do it. I definitely have an interest in doing Wilder Fury, but I don't expect to see that fight do well at the box office because Anthony Joshua is still the fucking alpha of the heavyweight division. He has 4 of the bouts. Fucking Wilder and Fury between them have 1 combined, and Wilder's demanding 60-40 for a fight with Joshua. Get the fuck over yourself. He's clearly scared of taking a fight with Joshua. He is deliberately pricing himself out of a fight with Joshua, and he is denying the world of boxing what the world of boxing wants, a unified heavyweight division. But if he wants to continue fighting low-level bums like Tyson Fury, who am I to say anything? Tyson Fury, a useless fat fuck who has had 2 fights since he managed to squeak his way past Vladimir Klitschko, both against useless fucking bums, one of which took him to decision. I was having this argument online, I think it was last night, it may have been the night before, with this clueless Fury fanboy who was trying to tell me that winning a decision over Vladimir Klitschko is more impressive than knocking him out. What fucking planet is that guy living on? Jesus Christ. I honestly got to the point where I stopped responding because either I was arguing with a troll, in which case I have no chance of winning, or I was arguing with someone mentally deficient, in which case it was an unfair fight. But anyway, we've got the walk to the octagon right now for fight number 3 of the night, fight number 2 of this stream, and I'm sure everyone listening can tell I'm just trying to kill some fucking time here. As if I couldn't make that any more clear. But Jared Cannonier, 6 first-round finishes, finished 8 of his 10 wins, 6 by knockout, and this is his debut in the middleweight division. Tonight is all about the middleweights. While the main event and the fight everyone is clearly hyping up is the World Heavyweight title fight. For the other 4 fights on the card are all in the middleweight division. And we are awaiting David Branch's arrival to the octagon. And there he is. Fighting out of Bronx, New Jersey. The 7th ranked middleweight in the world. That's something else I can say to kill a bit of time while Bruce Buffer's doing the introductions. But firstly, let's see what stats they decide to put up for David Branch. He's currently taking his hat and shirt off. Working stream of what I don't know. I'm watching it on my TV. I didn't want to mess around with issues like I had last time. But David Branch, 6 wins by knockout, 7 by submission. He has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But I've been seeing a lot of people hyping up Bellator over the last couple of weeks, saying they've had some good events recently. I'm fucking sorry, guys. Fedor Emelianenko should not be getting in a cage anymore. All fucking Bellator is a place for the old legends to collect a paycheck and tarnish their legacy. Get Fedor and all of the old clowns away from the octagon. Tail of the tapes, David Branch is 3 years older. He is 2 inches taller. He is 1 pound heavier. And he has half an inch reach advantage. 37 to 34, 6'1", 5'11", 185.5, 184.5, 78-inch reach to 77.5-inch reach. And we have the Bruce Buffer introductions. And quite frankly, I have very little to say during this. Jared Cannonier, the underdog, fighting out of Glendale, Arizona, holding a record of 10 wins and 4 losses. And they cut to a very disinterested section of the crowd slowly applauding. And we have David Branch, 6'1", 185.5, fighting out of Brooklyn, New York. Professional record of 22-4. He is a massive favourite at -400. I cannot blame the bookmakers for putting that sort of price on. I honestly don't expect this fight to go past the first round. We have Keith Peterson, who will be officiating this fight. Some weird fucking lighting there. Went really bright for a split second. But I fully expect Branch to submit Cannonier inside round 1. Watch it. Now I've said that, Cannonier will probably fluke a fucking decision. No, Branch has already took him down, and he has Cannonier up against the cage. He's trying to take his back. Cannonier makes his way back up to his feet and is immediately brought back down again. He is clearly already less than a minute into the fight, struggling to handle the grappling of David Branch, as is to be expected. He has to do everything in his power to keep this fight on the feet, as Cannonier lands a couple of good shots with Branch up against the cage. Huge overhand, misses. Branch appears to have put away the takedown for a couple of seconds, standing and exchanging a few light jabs here with Jared Cannonier, and we're back to the takedown. Cannonier manages to back up against the cage, but that only delays the inevitable. He is now on the ground, and Branch is looking again to take the back. I at least would expect for a rear naked choke. Yes, the arm is under the chin, and Cannonier has managed to get the arm off, and Branch is now landing some left hands to the side of the head, as we have 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in round number 1. This fight has gone exactly how I expected, pretty much. Branch shooting for takedowns, Cannonier trying everything he can to stay on his feet, failing miserably, and Branch controlling him on the ground. As I say that, Cannonier gets back onto his feet, but I would expect Branch to try and get him back on the floor as soon as possible. And the clinch is broken as Cannonier turns the clinch and manages to throw a shot with David Branch up against the cage. And we are back to a standing exchange. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds left to go in round number 1 as Branch shoots for another takedown. This time it is fairly well blocked and we remain on our feet. Cannonier feigning a shot with kick. Clearly looking to make an opening to the body. It is unsuccessful, and Cannonier continues to try and make an opening as Branch returns to the clinch. He's looking to take a hold of the legs here. I've just seen THT go live, so anyone who stays, thank you. Anyone who goes, great. But I'm going to be staying live throughout this entire card regardless. Cannonier trying to hold control of the clinch, trying to break free, and he lands a huge right hand, and Branch is backing up. He's struggling here. Regains his composure. The clinch. Cannonier backs up against the cage. Prevent the takedown. We're in the final 10 seconds of round number 1. And round number 1 has come to a close. That's really nice to hear, Yuck. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you know, I've only been watching MMA for a few years. That was a tough round for me. I mean, Cannonier clearly rocked David Branch with an overhand right, which would suggest he did the most damage in the round. However, the control from David Branch on the ground forces me to give him round number 1, and we are underway in round number 2. Again, Cannonier comes out aggressive, looking to try and keep the fight underground, pace him down, getting close, prevent the takedown. And he has put Branch on his back. Branch is on his back. Cannonier jumps in. Few elbow shots to the head. Little effect. Branch appears to have recovered, and No, the fight has been called. The upset has occurred. Jared Cannonier has stopped David Branch just under a minute into round number 2. That, to me, looked like a very premature stoppage. That fight should not have been stopped. David Branch was clearly starting to defend the shots coming in from Cannonier on the top. Yeah, I really do not feel comfortable with that stoppage. Let's see if I can see anything different from a replay here that I didn't see in the original take. No, they're just showing the knockdown again and again. There was no question about the knockdown. Yeah, Branch was defending the shots. That is a bad stoppage. Not good. Definitely not good. There is really nothing else I could say about that. I'm sure there'll be people supporting the stoppage somewhere, but yeah, no, thank you. That was very bad stoppage. But anyway, I'm gonna come in with a third song when the commercial break hits. It is a comedy song by one of my favorite comedic artists. I will say one thing. I was introduced to this artist by my cousin. We had a very public falling out. It's not a corner song, but it is pure comedy. But me and my cousin had a very public falling out at the start of the year. But I will always be thankful to him for introducing me to this artist. I believe he comes from somewhere in Michigan. Let me check. No, shit. He's not from Michigan. He's actually from Pennsylvania. Wow, then. I don't know why that's why I thought he was from Michigan. He attended Michigan. No, it's not Ray Stevens. It is Stephen Lynch. But I will play the song when we go to commercial break. They're currently doing the post-fight interview with, quote-unquote, the killer gorilla, Jared Cannonier. I'm stunned he won that fight. Absolutely stunned he won that fight. Looking at the card, I thought this guy has no business in the cage with David Branch. Branch will take him to the floor, control the fight, submit him inside a round. Wow. Well, I guess we've had our one surprise for the night, so it looks like Daniel Cormier will be retaining the title later on. We have 2 fights left on this card. Chris Waldman versus Ronaldo Souza, sorry. And then we have the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Daniel Cormier versus Derek Lewis. I have... Honestly, with how this card has been progressing, I feel I may have undershot it. I probably could have just squeaked out the 3 hours, including the very first fight. Sorry about that. Sorry if I went a bit distant there. I was reaching for my laptop charger. Had to pull away from the microphone. We're currently in the walk to the octagon for Ronaldo Souza, who will come up against Chris Weidman. I cannot stand Chris Weidman. In more ways than one, yuck. Anyway, I got to admit this is another fight I haven't personally been looking forward to. Hang on, let's see if I can do anything about that. Is that any better? Let me know if that's any better, Sky. Anyway, former Strikeforce middleweight champion, the most submission victories, tied most in UFC and Strikeforce histories, and he has finished 21 of his 25 wins. Great, that's great. Thanks, Belle. And here comes Chris Weidman. Even after years of hearing it, I still cannot fucking do names. Sorry guys if it's clearly clear that I'm stalling for time between the fights. But yeah, I will always be a dog person. I have been since I got my little baby girl 11 years ago. So I know this may sound weird, but without dogs, I don't think I would have been able to get through Especially 2014 to 2016, that was a rough time. They kept me sane, gave me something to get up for in the morning. But anyway, former UFC middleweight champion, second most takedowns in the history of the UFC middleweight division with 36, has finished 10 of 14 wins, 6 by knockout, 4 by submission. Oh, who doesn't love being lied to? Now, I know it's not... Okay, here's the thing. I know it's not strange to have a dog help you through tough times, but anyway, Souza is 4 years older than Weidman. Chris Weidman is 1 inch taller, he is half a pound heavier, and he has a 6-inch reach advantage, 38 to 30, and the fucking thing is off. But I more so feel it strange how much I had to rely on them. Not that I did rely on them, but the fact that especially my baby border collie was basically my closest friend. But anyway, Souza, fight record of 25 wins, 6 losses, 1 no contest, fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, weighing in at 185 pounds. He is the underdog. Maybe he does have a 6-inch cock, but I really do not want to know that. Chris Weidman, MMA record of 14 wins, 3 losses. He's fighting out of Baldwin, New Jersey, weighing in at 186 pounds, and he is the favourite for this fight. Come on, I might be weird, but I'm no fucking Whitney, Wisconsin. That's for sure. Does anyone know if that the bitch is still locked up? I really wish we could hear you and Whitney, Wisconsin in a fucking live interview, yuck. That would be fucking brilliant. But anyway, we are underway in this middleweight fight. Weidman taking the inside, Souza forcing himself around the outside. A few phantom shots thrown, no real connection here, as we are half a minute into the very first round. Weidman lands a right shot on the nose, but given how deformed Souza's nose is, I doubt he felt it. Holy shit, that thing is bent in bad. And an incredibly tentative start to this fight here. Neither competitor really looking for too much. And huge knee from Weidman. Souza counters, 2 right shots, and we are back to tentative standing and throwing the occasional jab. This has been a huge kick from Souza, misses. Weidman fails to take advantage. Right hand from Souza lands. Second follow-up shot misses. Weak round here. Sorry to be blunt, but yeah, no. I don't know if anyone here watched the right hand from Weidman rocks Souza. He stumbles back up against the cage, regains his balance, comes back at Weidman with a huge right hand. No effect shown. Both are certainly feeling each other out, attempting to turn this now into a bit of a brawl. Souza is keeping Weidman on the inside as best as he can. Some decent footwork from Weidman manages to get him back into the middle of the cage. But both now looking to throw huge shots, both failing to land really any strike here. I must admit, from a purist standpoint, this is a nice fight to watch. Really good defense from both guys. But yeah, based off the first 3.5 minutes of round one, this isn't going to be winning fight of the night. I think we can say that with some certainty. Weidman looks to throw the jab in there, looking to take advantage of his reach advantage. No one can really. Leg kick from Souza lands, but Weidman just shrugs it off. Appears to be a slight cut under the heavily deformed nose of Ronaldo Souza. Really, 23-12 significant strikes in Weidman's favour. I've barely counted 10 significant strikes between them. But there's definitely a cut on the nose of the Brazilian. And we have finished round one. Round one goes to Chris Weidman. Yeah, Vic. I think she chose that name after the state she hails from. Sorry, I'm just getting my card up for... Oh, hey, Dave. Yeah, do you not remember me sending in a donation one time telling you she was from, I think it was Ladysmith? Anyway, we are underway in round two. Souza comes out immediately with a leg kick. It is checked and some decent strikes thrown by Weidman. Very little effect. Some decent head movement from Souza. If you know the meme, you'll know why I just had a little bit of a giggle at saying head movement. Head movement! Head movement! No! Head movement! Sorry. I'm so sorry for subjecting you to that. But both have clearly come out more aggressive in this second round. Souza manages to push Weidman back with 2 really good strikes to the body. clinch and the knee to the face by Souza. No effect. And we appear now to be grappling. Souza looking to get him really close to Weidman, negate his... Not yet, but I didn't watch the prelims, Sky, so I wouldn't know, yet. But Souza getting in close to the New Yorker, trying to negate his reach advantage. Shrugging off the clinch to the Brazilian. And Weidman throws some crazy strikes. Yeah, give that guy a map. Where were they going? Souza backs Weidman up with a couple of good 1-2 strikes. Jab shot, jab shot. But his nose is really fucking busted now. Really? Her boyfriend had child porn. I honestly didn't know that. But anyway, this has been a much better round for Souza. He's getting in close, trying to land lefts to the chin. Yeah, has he been convicted? But we have just 1 minute left to go in this round, and Weidman forces Souza to the ground after catching a high kick. Souza is pushed up against the cage. But this round has certainly been much better for Souza as we enter the final few seconds of the round. Really nice transition there, getting back up to the feet. We're in the final 10 seconds. Yes, I have, so I'll check it out as in between the rounds as this round comes to a close. I have to give that round to Ronaldo Silva. We are tied 19-19 on my card. Bonifay police have arrested a 19-year-old woman on misdemeanor charges from Wisconsin of making pornographic videos. In a news release Tuesday, Bonifay police wrote the agency received information from Eau Claire Police Department in Wisconsin about Amy Lynn Louis. Eau Claire Police Department wanted Bonifay Police Department's help in finding Louis, who they thought might be in Bonifay. Police found her at her home and arrested her without incident. She will be sent back to Wisconsin to face the charges. Wisconsin police has said she's being charged with 2 misdemeanors of lewd and lavishness. I cannot speak the language tonight. But anyway, just very quickly, we are going to be entering round 3 in a minute. Her boyfriend... Why was I thinking she had a warrant out for her arrest in Wisconsin and Florida then? I thought both states were after her. But anyway, we are into round number 3. Souza landing some huge strikes from the outside. He's unfortunately allowed Weidman the time to recover. Now on the offensive, Weidman gets Souza with a knee to the chin. The grapple is clinch. It's weird. I only ever found out about that bitch from Leafy is Here on YouTube. A controversial guy made me aware of fucking controversial woman. But anyway, back to the fight. A cut has opened up on the nose of Chris Weidman. Nothing too severe. It doesn't appear to be affecting him too much. It's definitely not getting into the left eye. But it's clearly now a target for Souza, who lands a barrage of punches. The majority of them found their mark. Weidman is struggling for balance, and he is down. He is down on the floor. Weidman has a hold of Souza's leg, and the fight is called off. The fight is called off. Ronaldo Souza has beaten Chris Weidman, and thank fuck for that. Stoppage about halfway through round number 3. And that means we now just have the main event to go. Daniel Cormier versus Derek Lewis for the UFC World Heavyweight Championship. Derek Lewis, of course, getting a very, very late comeback win in the last event I covered, UFC 229 against Alexander Volkov. He appeared to be done, managed to land one good clean strike late in round 3 and picked up a really unlikely victory. If that went to the cards, he was screwed, and we for sure wouldn't be here talking about a Cormier-Lewis fight now. But I heard ramblings that the clown Brock Lesnar is in attendance tonight, and should Daniel Cormier win, as most people expect him to, Brock will once again confront Cormier in the octagon, and I would expect a fight for UFC 223 in January to be announced within days, if not announced immediately after the event. Because, yeah, a guy who hasn't had a official victory since 2010 deserves a title fight, doesn't he? Jesus. I'm sorry, but 5-3-1, not won since 2010. Yeah, Lesnar doesn't deserve a title fight, but then again, he's money. Hell, let's ruin the sport's legitimacy for a little bit of money. Although, a small part of me wants to see Lesnar and Cormier, because I so badly want to see Daniel Cormier humiliate that son of a bitch. And I see no way Lesnar beats Cormier. Just a question of, do I want Cormier to finish him quickly and put us out of our misery, or prolong the agony for that juiced up fuck? Now, but there, Chris Weidman just completely lost his balance. He did, given the way that guy's contract is structured, he could easily find time for an MMA run. And don't forget, he did perform at UFC 200 while under a wrestling contract, so it's not unheard of. As I'm sure many of us who follow either wrestling or MMA remember, Brock went up against Mark Hunt while under contract with that wrestling company out of Connecticut. He managed to beat Mark Hunt and later got busted for estrogen blockers. I honestly can't see why the hell anyone would go into a fight juiced up. You know for sure you're going to fucking get caught. So the best thing that could happen, as did for Brock, is a no contest. Decision overturned. Are you gonna try and deny that he was on the gas, Scott? He was busted. Mark Hunt. Still, whichever way it's said, it still sounds funny. I'm not denying the impact that being juiced up can have on a fight. There is no arguing that. Anyone that tries to argue that juicing has an effect on a fight, no. I personally don't. I'll be honest, I don't have a huge issue with juicing, but the athletic commission say no juicing, so you have to follow their rules. Do not juice. Anyway, welcome back to the live reactions to UFC 230, Cormier versus Lewis. We have only the main event to go. World heavyweight title will be decided 5 rounds between Daniel Cormier and Derek Lewis. Now, I would say I expect this fight to be one-sided, but I said that a couple of fights back, and yeah, I'm sure we remember how that one went. What's up, WNC? That Johnny? Is it Jenk? Elvis makes up for everything, Dave. Sup, Jenk? I guess that would be beating a classic, but to be honest, can a person determine themselves to be a classic? Is that not a decision made by their peers? Anyway, still on the hype package for the main event. Is it weird that the first time I read that comment, I read vouch as if it was all capitalized? I don't know why, there is no reason why, but sure. Not that you'd punched them. Hmm. Hey, at least I'm not in Flint, Michigan. But anyway, we've got the ring walk, well, cage walk or whatever. Obviously, starting out with the challenger, Derek Lewis. Showing him coming all the way from backstage. This is probably going to be a fairly long walk. And it's going to be his final walk as a contender in the heavyweight division. Daniel Cormier should put him away with, let's say, relative ease. I've never really understood the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. I just know there is one. But as I said earlier, and I think I'll repeat now, anyone who was here for UFC 229 should remember Derek Lewis for his extremely late knockout of Alexander Volkov in, I think it was the second fight of the night, where he was down on every same person's scorecard, no chance of coming away with the victory on points, needed a Hail Mary at the very end of the fight. He managed to find it. Derek Lewis tied most knockouts in the UFC heavyweight history with 10. Second most knockouts on the by ground strikes with 6, and he has won 18 fights by knockout. While we are awaiting the arrival of Daniel Cormier, I would just like to give a quick shout out to everyone in here. We have Sky, Yuck, It's Pathetic with Scott and Rye Bread, My adopted big sister, Victoria, Dave Sincere, and Old Man Jenkins. Had a couple of people pass through, but clearly they were not a fan, not stuck around. And we now have the ring walk for the champion beginning. Yeah, I seriously think I think I could have got the first fight in. Sorry, guys. Looking at the time left, given how long I expect this fight to go, Cormier literally sprinting to the octagon as soon as he gets out into the crowd. Because sprinting going into a fight, yeah, that's really a good idea, but should be no problem for him. Derek Lewis gas is within a minute anyway. Guy's having issue getting his shirt off. Come on. You're a grown fucking adult. How hard can it be to dress and undress yourself? And this guy's the face of the heavyweight division. But anyway, Daniel Cormier, he is a 2-weight champion, light heavyweight and heavyweight. He is on a 7-fight unbeaten streak and is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. 2-time Olympic wrestler, appearing at the Athens Games in 2004 and the Games in Beijing in 2008. And going back, don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Daniel Cormier. Me saying he's the face of the division mockingly is because the clown couldn't get his shirt off. He's a really fucking good fighter. I fully expect him to win this fight. I fully expect him to win what everyone expects to be the fight at UFC 233. Again, that guy should not be having a title shot. 5-3-1 is not title shot worthy. No win since 2010 is definitely not title shot worthy. Tail of the tapes. Daniel Cormier is 6 years older than Lewis. Lewis is 4 inches taller. He is 13.5 pounds heavier, and he has a 6.5 inch reach advantage. We'd probably be going to hell and turning heel. But anyway, Herb Dean is going to be officiating this fight. I'm still not over the stoppage from earlier. That was a terrible stoppage. Now, I'm not going to shit on it now because it wasn't Herb Dean, but still fucking pissed off about that. He was defending himself. Bruce Buffer with his long-ass introduction to any main event. We all know this is a world heavyweight title fight. You don't have to remind us. Derek Lewis. Record of 21 wins, 5 losses, 1 no contest. Fighting out of Houston, Texas. He is 6 foot 3 inches tall and weighs in at 264.5 pounds. He is the underdog in this fight. But it's not exactly been a bad night for the underdogs so far. And Daniel Cormier, record of 21 wins, 1 loss and 1 no contest, fighting out of San Jose, California. He is 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 251 pounds. He is the heavyweight champion of the world and is the overwhelming favourite with Vegas. And that one defeat coming at light heavyweight, so let's remember he is undefeated as a heavyweight. Come on, Buffer. Shut the fuck up and let him get to fighting. Now, that division I think I'd do well in. Although, to be completely honest, as everyone knows, I'm on these pills and they are working fucking wonders. I have to go back for a checkup. Just very quick, we are underway. I have to go for a checkup on Tuesday. I fully expect to be nearing 300. I started off just a couple months ago at 317. I think I'll be very close to 300, if not even getting below it this time. But it's been an incredibly tentative start to this fight, both landing a single leg kick each. Cormier shoots for the leg, and he has Derek Lewis on the ground. As if we thought he were going to gas quick enough now. Being fucking manhandled from the top by this fucking 5'11" round guy in half guard. Yeah, that's definitely going to fucking gas this guy. I almost said something there, but it could very easily have been taken the wrong way. So let's just leave that, shall we? Cormier, he's staying in half guard, just holding Derek Lewis down. He's landed a few decent shots from the top, nothing really of note. And as I said earlier, what can I really say? When two guys are on the ground, not even looking to transition, let alone work. But Lewis has turned over, and Cormier appears to be looking to take the back to the feet, and Derek Lewis is already breathing heavy. Oh, for fuck's sake, this guy has no stamina. Cormier goes back to the leg and takes him down with absolute ease, showing zero resistance. Interestingly enough, Sky, there actually was one fight like that with a fully limbed guy versus a guy with no limbs. I think it can be found online on YouTube, but it was unusual to say the least. But with 1 minute 10 seconds left to go in round number 1, Cormier is Cormier looking to take the back. He briefly appeared to be going for a choke, but Lewis managed to fall back, and we are now in a ground and pound position. Lewis is down on one knee. Cormier is just holding on to him. Down to the final 10 seconds. And few late shots landed from Daniel Cormier in the final couple of seconds, and that was an incredibly one-sided round. Easy win that round for Daniel Cormier, and in all honesty, the only hope Derek Lewis had was the early stoppage. The only hope he had. The guy was clearly gassed within the first minute of that round, and Cormier now should just be able to toy with him like a nice little baby doll. But anyway, Round 2 is now underway. Derek Lewis looks like he struggled to even walk out to the center of the cage to engage. Yeah, this should be over quick. And I know the guy fought just a month ago, but had the absolute living shit kicked out of him. Just about managed to squeeze out a victory, but the energy level from Derek Lewis in this fight has been absolutely pathetic. That being said, he has thrown a few decent shots. One shot of note, a nice kick to the side of the head, but he clearly did not faze Daniel Cormier. Cormier now back on the offense, pushing Derek Lewis up against the cage. He shoots for the single leg, and he has him down on the ground. Cormier is unable to take advantage of that takedown, and Lewis manages to get back to his feet. However, he's still pushed up against the cage, with Cormier laying in a few knees, maintaining control. Another takedown. Cormier jumps into mount, isn't able to finish the fight, and transitions to the side. Moves into half guard, takes the back, looking for a choke here. He has a choke on, and Derek Lewis has tapped out. Derek Lewis has submitted in a couple of minutes into round number 2. That was inevitable from just a few seconds into round number 1, when it became clear that Derek Lewis was already gassed. So the big question now, do we see a appearance from the dense-headed gorilla with a dick on his chest? I'm still incredibly fucking conflicted about that. One hand, 5-3-1, no win since 2010, is not fucking title worthy, but yes, send the link just as Derek Lewis taps out in the main event. I would have sent you a link, pal, but I'm watching it on my TV tonight. I didn't want to fuck around with no questionable streams. But anyway, 5-3-1 is not title fight worthy. Not winning a fight since 2010 is not title fight worthy, but on one hand, it would be fun to see Cormier toy with that fucking big ass bitch. You make me excited, Yuck. You make me very excited. Bruce Buffer reading out the official decision. Please don't take fucking 20 years to do this. Hurry up and give him the belt, Dana. Rogan conducting an interview with Daniel Cormier. Hang on. Yes, Daniel. We all know Derek Lewis has a lot of power. We also know he has no fucking stamina. They've name dropped the chest dick. Cormier saying he wants the red period blood belt. It appears we won't have a appearance by the chest dick fucking gorilla, but it's made incredibly clear that that will be Daniel Cormier's next challenge. Sorry, I'm still incredibly conflicted about that fight. But very quick, run through at least the main card. Asenada defeated Derek Brunson by TKO. A very good stoppage by Herb Dean. Carl Robertson defeated Jack Marshman by unanimous decision. Jared Cannonier defeated David Branch by a very questionable stoppage. Ronaldo Souza defeated Chris Weidman by TKO. Weidman, it was clear he did not know where the hell he was. He got his bell rung. And Daniel Cormier defeats Derek Lewis to retain the World Heavyweight title by submission in the second round, and then calls out Brock Lesnar. Now, was this card even on the same level as 229? No. Did I enjoy it? Yes, but I would like to thank you all for coming out and enjoying this show with me.